Yo. It's a little windy out here, so hopefully y'all can hear me. So, I'll talk about something a little bit more practical today than usual. I guess everything I talk about has a degree of practicality to it. Of course, this lady wants to come over the line right now. All right, hold on. Get what we get. How you doing? All right. Cool. So, let me tell y'all a story. So, when I was about 8 years old, in the third grade, I had some medical issues, chronic asthma, bronchitis, all that kind of stuff. Hold on. Anyway, had some medical issues, chronic asthma, bronchitis, that sort of stuff in the third grade, 8 years old. And they put me on a whole bunch of steroids. So from the steroids, of course, caused the increased appetite, and my weight was gained tremendously. I went from being one of the smallest kids in the class, both height and weight wise, to one of the biggest. And basically from the time I was about 4'8", I was weighing around 180 pounds at like 9 or 10. And that specific number of weight, 180, that seemed to be my baseline, even though I pushed through most of adulthood. Now, obviously, I got taller than 4'6" since then, about 6 feet tall. And, as I pushed into like 7th and 8th grade, got to be about 14, 15, that was when the weight started slipping off. Let me cut across. Right? So, as I start to get older, I start, playing sports, basketball, all that kind of stuff. What's up, Cannon? And, 14, 15, I was pretty much slim built at that point, but I was still about 180. It was mostly just muscle and bone mass at that point, right? So I stayed about that size for the majority, through the rest of high school, and for the majority of my adult life. Like, I'm 34 now. I was that way until I was about 33, about 180, 5 foot, or 5'11" and 3/4, 6 foot. What's up, Amir? And so last year, I had my third child. I hope y'all can still hear me. There's a bunch of people mowing their lawns and shit. But last year, I had my third child, and it was a daughter. And suddenly, within the span of the last year, I've had some medical problems and things like that have occurred. But basically, in the last, let's say, the 9 months between the time she was born this time last year and, June, July-ish, I gained 100 pounds. It's the biggest I'd ever been in my entire life. I was 275. When the year before I was just 175. I went back and looked at some of the videos. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Right? So, gained that 100 pounds after my third child was born. I can't even call it like dad bod stuff because I already had 2 children before then. So it didn't really make sense. There's really actually, practically, there's no real practical reason why I gained 100 pounds in such a short amount of time. Because I don't eat excessively. I don't really eat meat. I don't, super do too much bread products or cheese or anything like that. I don't drink sodas. And I stay active. The same walking I'm doing right now, I've been doing this whole time. And I do this every day. I walk anywhere from a mile to 2, 3, 5 miles every day. But all of a sudden, just 100 pounds piled on. Right? It made no sense. So, yeah, I'm not walking to a flight. So, I had to do something about this because I wasn't going to be some fat fuck dad and not be able to catch my kids or chase them around the yard and, you know, play tag with them and shit like that without running out of breath. That's fucking lame. So I endeavored and started walking with some brothers to discipline myself and to build a regimen that would actually get my body back in shape. Now, mind you, like, this is why it was so fucking strange that I even gained 100 pounds that fast in the first place. I was already working out every day. Like, you know, 2022, 2023, I was doing my push-ups every day. I was in motion every day. I was walking just like this every day. So it didn't really make sense. It was very odd. But nonetheless, you know, I have to look at things for what they are, not as what you want them to be. So taking it for what it was, said, okay, I got to go ahead and instill some discipline in myself. I need to get a regimen. You know, maybe I need to sharpen up a little bit more on, you know, my diet, even though I'm already pretty sharp on it. You know, maybe I need to do a little bit more fasting this year, right? So I've had some periods where I've done some extended fasting, 7 days, 9 days, 4 days. I really want to endeavor to do like a 21-day or a 30-day fast. So I'm working my way to doing that. But, you know, just doing what I can, do what I can regularly. I already stay plenty hydrated, but just making sure I'm on top of that. And then just adding in simple things like, okay, today I'm going to do 100 push-ups today. All right, cool. I did 100 push-ups. Now I'm going to do 2,000 run and play steps. Okay, cool. I did that. And then, you know, amping it up. Sometimes it might take that. Sometimes you might want to ramp it up slowly, which can be helpful, and that's what a lot of people do. Sometimes you might just want to just fucking hit the gas and be like, all right, I'm going to do 500 push-ups today. And then just keep going. Just dedicate yourself to it through the day. And all right, this time I'm going to do 5,000 steps, or I'm going to go run 2 miles, right? And as you go through this process, you start to get more and more acclimated to it. You get better and better at it. You start doing more and more push-ups per set. And, you know, you can do more and more steps per set without slowing down. And before you know it, you're finished and you've built a habit out of doing it. Now, aside from this, and just consciously saying, I'm not going to be a fat fuck. I'm not going to be a fat fuck dad. And, you know, I really got to train myself for war, because it is war out here. Aside from that, I didn't really do anything special. And I just happened to hop on the scale a couple days ago, and I was down 32 pounds. So down from that huge 275 mark to like 243. So I was like, oh, okay. Thought I felt like I lost weight. I guess I was right. Cool. It's just a matter of committing to it. I don't really believe in motivation. I don't super believe in anything. But I definitely don't believe in motivation. Yes, there's a matter of inspiration. You can be inspired by someone to do a thing. But I'm not the type of person to where I need to watch some motivational video of David Goggins to tell me to stop being a bitch and who's going to carry the boats or anything like that. I don't super need that. So for me, most important thing is discipline. And what does discipline line up with? Discipline lines up hand in hand with focus, right? You need, a brother I was talking to about this yesterday, he said something like, maybe it's the day before, he said something like, without focus, there's no discipline, and without discipline, there's no focus. And I was like, damn, that's such a fucking bar. That was the brother G-Man. Shout out to you, G-Man. And it's true. It really is true. Because if you don't have any kind of focus, you won't find discipline. You won't be able to grasp it. It'll be too elusive to your fingers. And on the same token, if you don't have discipline, then you won't be able to maintain focus. And that goes for everything. For those of y'all, I know there's some people that struggle with this, because there's some guys that reach out to me about this and ask me for advice on it. for those of you guys who struggle with, like, I don't know, like pornography and lust and stuff like that, a lot of the times it's really just a matter of discipline, and you disciplining yourself. You telling yourself you have control over your hands and what your hands can do and what your hands can't do. So you mean to tell me when you get that bottle of lotion there and you're sitting in front of the screen looking at these pixels, you mean to tell me at that point you can't control your hands? No, yes you can. You have to discipline yourself to do that. And then on the other end of it, you have to focus on something that's actually going to be productive. That's the only way out of that. For those that have issues with other vices like smoking weed or drinking or gambling or any of these kind of things, it's a matter of discipline and focus. It's just the same. All vices can be defeated by the same power. And this is coming from me, from somebody who has battled a lot of vices in my time. There were some that were stickier than others. There were some that were more difficult than others for me. What's up, Sigma, Blister? You know what I'm saying? So there's everybody kind of has their own things they have to deal with, but at the end of the day, the science is still the same. The mechanics are still the same. The things that you can do and implement to kind of excel to higher tiers and higher levels and higher degrees, so to speak, the motions that you take to do so, or at least the mechanisms that you have to utilize to do so, they're all the same. You can kill all vices the same exact way with the same tools: push-ups and cardio and water, and finding a skill or finding a task or something that you want to dedicate yourself to learning, or assimilating, and then putting that skill to the test, or putting yourself to the test when it comes to that task. It's very simple. So this is how I lost 32 pounds, by doing this. And when I wasn't doing this, I was working, and when I wasn't working or doing this, I was taking care of my children. And that's basically all I do. Sounds boring, but it's really not, because life is the video game. And that's what life's all about. It's all about progression. This game here that we're in is an RPG. First person RPG, open world MMO. It's World of Warcraft. It's Destiny, or whatever that other game is. It's one of those. So what are you going to do with it? How are you going to sculpt your character? What type of life are you looking to create? What kind of story are you looking to create? What kind of arc are you on right now? Right? Is it the hero's arc, or are you on some villain shit? If you're on some villain shit, just get the fuck out of here. Because I probably don't have much to talk to you about, unless it's how to get out of that shit. That we can talk about. But it's up to you to decide. And like I said, that goes for everything. That goes for every vice. That goes for every bad habit, every bad relationship, every shitty job. All of it can be handled the same way. Just discipline, focus. That's it. Eliminating bullshit. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I do Sashug. That's divine love. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. Peace.